Welcome to the Sisters in Service podcast. My name is Kat Cortado, also known as the voice connecting women veterans nationwide. This podcast is for anyone connected with the military, from veterans, male and female, military spouses, military brats, even parents who may have children who are in the military. As an Air Force veteran, I understand the trials and triumphs that women veterans go through in service and out of service. And so I wanted to find a way that I could put it out there into the airwaves and let everyone know what we're going through and find a way and a solution to what's happening to us in the service. I also like to highlight these women who are business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're bosses in their business. And so I hope that you will follow me, you will share, and you will subscribe to this podcast, which comes out every week on Tuesdays. And as always, please stay safe, take care of each other until next time. And it's never too late to start your impossible. Hello, Sisters in Service. This is a special episode of our Sisters in Service podcast. And the reason is because I got a chance to go to a V-WISE event in Nashville. Now, you're probably wanting to know what V-WISE is. It's Veteran Women Igniting the Spirit of Entrepreneurship. And you're like, okay, yeah, whatever. What does that mean? And they help women, veterans, women who are active duty, military spouses to get their idea of a business off the ground, even if they've been in business for a year or maybe longer, to give them some new ideas and directions to go to, move the needle in their business, so to speak. So I have 4 amazing women that I got to meet in Nashville. And I thought this would be really cool to do what's called a V-WISE recap. And so we're just going to go around the table. We're going to ask some questions. We'll have some laughs. And we're just going to have a good time with this. So my first boss is Nina Clark. So Nina, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, yes. So my name is Nina Clark. I am currently still active duty. I am in the U.S. Army, and I will be retiring within the next year. I am currently stationed at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, which is just about 30 minutes outside of St. Louis. I am in the process of developing a business idea for thrifting, and I have named it Pretty Little Thrifty. I'm also participating in the Strive program through Syracuse University, so that's helping me better shape my vision of what this will eventually become.
Awesome. I love that. But here's another, idea that she's active duty, so it's not just for veterans. So thank you, Nina, for being here. Zanetta.
Hey, I'm Zanetta Bryant. I am a Marine Corps veteran. I am currently in Fayetteville, Georgia. I am a nurse practitioner, currently at a neurology office and splitting my time here at my own place with Redefined by Z, which is a med spa.
Ooh, facial stuff. Yes, and yes. Thank you for being here, Zanetta. Dr. Rainya.
Hi, how are you? I am Dr. Rainya Miller. I am a Navy veteran, and I am currently pushing forth into the world the Consortium of Accomplished Educators, and we are stationed in Maryland.
Thank you for being here. And last but never least, Nadean.
Hi, my name is Nadean Carson. I'm an Air Force veteran. I separated in 2005, and I started Oya Construction, which is a contractor business focusing on the control of sediment on construction sites. And what that really means is that I keep the mud on site instead of in our waterways.
I like that.
I grew up to play in dirt.
You dirty girl, you.
I know.
All right. So this first question, I'm going to aim towards Nina. Nina, how long? Well, you're still in the service, but when did you come up with your concept for a business to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, the concept, or just entrepreneurship in general, or this one in particular?
No, what? There's more than one? Oh my God.
So So I have been interested in entrepreneurship for as long as I can imagine. Like as a kid, I used to like bake cupcakes and sell them in the neighborhood. I would go with my dad to the basketball court, and I would be the kid underneath the tree with the cold drinks as everyone was coming off the course. So it was something that I kind of always did. If I wanted, to get clothes for the school year, or if I wanted to pay for whatever it was that I wanted. So those were like my little things that I would do and my parents would encourage. So I've always known that I've wanted to do something for myself when I retired. So this particular venture, I literally just stumbled upon it 2 months ago. So I recently started getting into thrifting and refinishing and flipping items, which apparently there's a market for that.
Yes, there is.
Yes. So in the midst of redoing my closet, because I had, as I'm transitioning to retirement, I realized I have like no corporate wardrobe whatsoever, no suits, no slacks, no heels, like none of that. So I started shopping at thrift stores to build my wardrobe. And then I started thinking, well, I could sell some of this stuff. And I started selling some of that stuff on eBay and on Facebook. And then I stumbled upon furniture. And I was like, oh, I can refinish some of this furniture and sell that furniture. So I have been doing that much more steadily, and I actually really enjoy it. Something that I could do at home is something that I can incorporate my kids into doing. So this is what I'm working on at this juncture to try to develop it into something viable.
I've seen some refinished furniture, and it's beautiful. I don't have the time and I don't have the patience. I will buy it, however. So thank you, Nina. Anyone else want to jump in? Oh, come on. Don't be shy. Nadine, go.
Well, I will tell you that honestly, the idea of starting a company was the farthest thing in my mind. And that was never anything that I wanted to do. I was an engineer. I always worked in construction. I always saw myself working for different companies until just a couple of years ago when I got really fed up seeing things that I wanted to change. And I felt that I could either be mad about it or I could do something about it. And so that's actually where I came up with the idea of my company is actually, how do I want to make the changes in the construction industry that I want to see? How do I take responsibility for bringing people into the industry that we need more of? And so it was almost me kicking and fighting against the idea of starting my own company. It scared me to death.
Yes.
So this has been a huge jump, but every day I have at least one moment of the day where I go, wow, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And I'm so excited about the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. The journey's the big thing. I mean, you know where you want to go, but sometimes we're in such a hurry to get there, we forget about the journey and that part of it. So thank you, Nadine. Zanetta, what about you?
Well, entrepreneurship has been one of those things that I mentally chased, but never actually took a chance on myself. And when I became a nurse practitioner, I had this idea of having a holistic health clinic. And I just kind of put that on the back burner just because just dealing with life, the kids and their activities and how do I start this business? And actually a lot of roadblocks where I'm talking to other nurse practitioners that have opened their own clinics and asking them, thinking that they would be a resource for me. But a lot of it I felt was like closed mouth. Nobody wanted to share anything. So when I had this opportunity to start the MediSpa, I was actually sitting down to build out a holistic health clinic, which was turning into more of a primary care dream. And I was like, yeah, that's not what I want to do. I want to do something fun. And aesthetics is fun to me. So I wish I had actually had the opportunity before the pandemic hit to do V-WISE, which was canceled, because it would have saved me a lot of time from bumping my head and spending too much money. But I'm here, I'm doing it, and I'm still learning in the process.
As we all are. Yeah. We all are in this journey. Dr. Rainya.
Well, like Nadine, I got a long time ago in yourself. So my first thought was to be a teacher. I was just like, I'm going to be that teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher, and that's what I'm going to do. So I went to school. I became a teacher. And then about 10 years in, I was like, this got to be something else. Like some of these things that I see in education, I was just like, like as educators, we have to have better stuff. Like it's just not really, I don't know, it just wasn't conducive to effective teaching and learning. So I decided that I had multiple opportunities. I was just like, I did event planning, and that was fun. But then I was like, I need to connect to education. And so I did, but I didn't really act upon it. And then when we went to V-WISE, I was torn in between coaching or the education. And after I talked to, I'm not sure. I know I talked to Nina, and I'm not sure who else I talked to, but I was just like, I keep going towards education. And I've already created this education business, but I'm not doing it. I was like, so something is telling me that education is probably where I need to stick to.
Yeah, I think you need to go with your gut. What lights you up? You know what I mean? Everyone's like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. But, the shoulds, and I say this all the time, you should never should on anybody. Okay.
Right.
And when you're an entrepreneur, when you're going to be working this hard, because trust me, being an entrepreneur is hard. And when you're going to work this hard, you want it to be fun. You want to have a good time at it, right? I think so. I would want to have fun in it. I'm just saying. So this is for Zanetta. Did you find that your military service helped you with your skill set in being an entrepreneur?
It definitely helped with the organizational skills, even before entrepreneurship. So I got out in 2007. I went in late, did 4 years, got pregnant with twins, decided that it wasn't going to be my career. So I got out in 2007 and became a nurse practitioner. Being in the corporate world, even as a nurse, just seeing that, and right now in the private office that I'm still at too, there's no set guidelines in place. So with the organization, I'm like, where's the SOP? Well, what's the SOP? I'm like, standard operating procedures. If you're not here, somebody has to do the job.
Right?
You see the need for leadership, and it's one of those things where you just step up. You don't ask any questions. You handle the business, and then you may. Can I curse? Bitch about it later.
Oh, sure.
But you bitch about it later. But even the problem don't come with the problem if you don't have a solution. That's another thing that was really drilled in while I was on active duty. So, even with being an entrepreneur, like I said before, I'm bumping my head, and I'm being resourceful is putting me in that place. Okay, well, there's the problem. So what's the solution, and how can I MacGyver this? How can I make it work? And as a Marine, we get the worst of the worst, and we have to figure it out.
Right.
So I feel like the skill set of leadership and not failing or allowing myself to just kind of walk away. That is really what, as an entrepreneur, like the foundation of it, because somebody has to be there. Somebody has to take the lead.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you don't, then nobody else is going to. Right. You're like, it's, I always talk to people who say, oh, I have a team. And I say, I have a team too. They go, how many's on your team? I said, it's me, myself, and I. That's my team. Hello. So anyone else want to chime in?
Actually, I would love to, because Dr. Haney said something during an Ignite. I did the virtual Ignite program, and he said something that kind of kickstarted this whole thing into the real world for me. And what he said was, I know that when you guys were active duty, that you had all the resources in the world, you had all the time in the world to do your projects, and you had all the money in the world. And he said, and I know that all of you are laughing because you never had any of those. You didn't have not enough time, enough money, enough resources, anything.
Ever.
And he was like, did you do it anyways? Yeah, we did it anyways. And so he said, you've done worse and you've done harder. And I was like, I have done harder. This is not that big of a deal. So, I look back on some of the experiences I had while I was in the military, and I realized that, at the time that's just my job. But when you go to tell somebody else about it and they're like, I'm sorry, you did what? You realize you've done harder things.
Yes.
And did them successfully like it was nobody's business. And if you can be a boss at that, be a boss at this too.
Absolutely. I talk to women veterans all the time, and especially in the podcast movement, and they'll say, well, I really want to do it, but I'm afraid. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you did wear the uniform, right? And they're like, yeah. And I said, this is a piece of cake compared to that. So if you can do that, you can do anything else you want.
That's right.
Just saying. Anybody else want to chime in before we go to our next question?
Now I was going to say definitely the skills of flexibility and resourceability for sure, because you have to work with what you have within the constraints that you have. And like she said earlier, Zanetta, you're not going to have everything available to your disposal. So you just have to make it happen one way or the other and just roll with it. And learning that through the process, it's one thing to read about, it's another thing to actually learn on the job, which is what a lot of the military is, OJT. On the job training. On the job training, here you go. Here's an SOP, here's a checklist, figure it out. And then just keep it moving.
Trial by fire. Here you go. Just do it. Just take care of it. Yeah, absolutely. I think that I don't think we realize when we get out what kind of soft skills we actually have until we're forced into a situation to put them into play, because I think we do it so effortlessly that we don't even realize we're doing it. But we have been trained so well, thank you for that, that we don't realize that we're putting those types of skills into play, especially in our jobs, or even, in our businesses. So I think it's important to actually acknowledge that and say that, we're bosses.
Yeah.
Period. We're bosses.
Yeah.
So let's go on to our next question. What's been your biggest challenge so far in your business, and how did you overcome it? Miss Rainya. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Rainya. I'm sorry.
It's, you know what? I'm still getting used to it. It's only been a year. And so.
Oh, girl, you deserve that. You deserve that, doctor.
Thank you. You said the biggest challenges. I think challenges for me is like finding mentoring, like finding somebody who's already walked the walk, who's been successful, even if they haven't been, millionaire successful, but they've already gone through some of the challenges. And like Zanetta was saying, I have done a few different businesses or attempted, started them, created them. But when it got down to it, it was just like, okay, now where's the support, right? Okay. Some things you see says you don't need a business plan. Other things you see says you do need it. Show me which booby trap is not to step on. Like, I want to go broke trying to get on the other side. So help, just the resources, I think, was the biggest challenge.
Absolutely. Nina.
Yes. So for me right now, a challenge I'm encountering at this moment is because I am going to be moving. I initially started with the research with my local area, but since we are about a year out from where we're moving, I'm now needing to pivot and learn about the market that I'm going to be moving into. So showing up brand new, don't know anything about anything is going to be a little daunting. So what are some things? So I'm now going through the process of what are some things that I can be proactive in now to kind of set the groundwork for when we do arrive there. I kind of have a few things already lined up versus just showing up cold turkey.
I like that. Knowing what's around you, what's at your disposal when you get there, and being able to utilize that once you get to your location. I love that.
Yeah, because even like the market here, where I am in Illinois, is going to be drastically different than what the market is going to be in Atlanta. So the people are different, the market's different, the supplies, the resources are different. So everything is going to change, and I need to adjust to that as much as possible, and just kind of, minimize as much tension or stress that I can by at least getting familiar with what those changes will be.
It might be a bigger market. I mean, what are you going to do when you're overthrown with, I want this. Can I get this? When, you're going to be like, now I need a team.
and that's okay. At that point, then you reassess and see what is needed to expand and grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Zanetta, what about you? Any
challenges?
Mm-hmm.
So like I mentioned before, over the years, just speaking with other nurse practitioners that have started their own, and even going to like the AANP conference, which is one of the certifications that I have, talking to nurse entrepreneurs there. At the end of it, basically the fellowship, it kind of fell apart. It's like everybody's going to keep in touch. And then when you reach out to people, they're ghosts. It's like, hey, help me. So it's been constantly digging, trying to figure out how do I start this business to keep from making those hiccups. And the V-WISE actually put it together so cohesively. It's like, I wish I could rewind time.
Yes.
And I would have saved like thousands of dollars already. I just did a soft open in December. So I'm still within the first year of my business, but looking back, if I could shave my head, you would see how many bruises and knots on my head right now. Because like literally all the stuff they said don't do, I did. I'm that living example to say, yeah, they tell you don't do it, don't freaking do it. But nobody was telling me not to do that, because all the pieces, the books that I've read I'm that type of person. Give me A through Z so I could go ahead and do A, B, C, D. So the challenges with finances, not having enough money set aside for marketing, my supply list, spending too much money on, getting certain equipment that I don't need at the moment to build the clientele for it first. It's like all of these pieces are like V-WISE was a light bulb. Oh, that's why I wasn't supposed to do this. That's how it comes together. So right now I'm in figure it out stage.
I think it's important too that sometimes, you always hear people say, oh, just call me, just email me. I'll be glad to help you. And then when you need that help, they're nowhere to be found.
Yes.
Oh, I'm really busy. Oh, I wish and you're like, okay. And it's not their fault. I'm not mad, but don't say you're going to be there to help me.
Yeah.
Or ask, answer my question if you can't or won't.
Right.
But, I'm not mad.
And on the flip side of that, ask. Like not other people, but us as entrepreneurs need to understand that we should ask for these things. We need to find out our resources. I, for one, don't know what I don't know. So if, somebody else does, and that's one of those really great things about V-WISE is the people I met who have told me, what about this and this? And we still have a text group that we weekly check in on each other and share resources and stuff like that. So I think that we need to take the onus upon ourselves to also ask for help.
I understand that too. I totally agree with that, but also sometimes we get so many choices out there. We don't know what direction to go in. And someone gave me some really good advice. And he said, test it out. See if it's going to work. It's either going to work or it won't. So I have the 30-day rule. If I haven't seen anything an uptick in 30 days, then maybe it's not for me. So, thank you guys for that, for those answers. What advice would you give a woman who is transitioning from the military, maybe still in the military, and considering starting her own business? Yes, Nina.
I got that one.
She's like, I got this one. I got it.
Yes, I got this one. I would definitely say, test out while you're still in the military and you have the security of a guaranteed income. Because I would say right now I have the liberty to try random things, experiment. I like this, I don't like this, versus needing that income to pay my bills. So right now I feel like I'm in a space that I can have fun with it. I can explore. I can, just do different things. Whereas I would not be able to if it was like, oh my God, I have to pay my bill and just having that additional stress. So definitely explore, have fun with it, see what works, see what you like, see what you don't like. What do you want to really pursue? Ask those questions before.
Yeah. And it's so smart too to be doing that. And so many people in the military are doing that while they're still active duty. I wasn't smart enough to believe that I could do that, because I was like, I can't wait to be a civilian. That's all I could think about. Got to be a civilian. And yeah, I should have been more forward thinking, because I totally wasn't.
I will say for myself, I have dreamt about this day for a very long time about retiring.
Yeah.
So I'm very clear in what I don't want. I don't want to go work for somebody. I don't want to go be in an office. I don't want a 9-to-5. So I'm very clear on that. But then I have to be very specific on what it is that I do want. And then how do I build that out, and what is that going to look like? So how do I start putting those things in place to make that come to fruition, so I don't have to rely on that 9-to-5 job?
Absolutely. Dr. Rainya, what kind of advice would you give a woman?
I'm going to just piggyback on Nina. As I've gone from zero to where I am now, locating those resources, like doing your research ahead of time. If you have different ideas, even throw in your 30 days, different ideas, test them, see if it's going to work, see if it's going to take you where you want it to be, and just get support. Look into programs that you can join. Look into like V-WISE and IVMF, and even the Small Business Administration. They have local things, but if you don't look, like Nadean says, like it's not, people aren't just giving it to you, so you do have to look for it. So definitely, before you leave the comfort of having, income coming in, I would say check it all out. Go test it, check everything out so that you have a plan.
I think too, sometimes you don't know that something exists. When I got out 22 years ago, I didn't think maybe IVMF was around, or, V-WISE. I don't know. But if you don't know about it, you don't know to look for it. You know what I mean? Nadean or Zanetta, and you want to chime in?
Yeah, what Nadean said, what you don't know, you don't know. You don't know that you don't know it. And being resourceful, asking questions, putting yourself out there. I know I'm one of those people where I could be a social butterfly, and then over the years I hid behind the mom hat and the worker hat, because that's all I was doing 24/7. So it's like putting myself out there again. Well, hell, I'm at that point where I have to figure out who I am again to be able to even have a conversation outside of, let me tell you about my kids and their activities.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's I don't know, for whoever needs to hear it, I'm just going to say it, whether you're getting out after 4 years or you're getting out after 20, 25 years, you have to identify who the hell you are first before you even know what you want. Because for that period of time, you were wearing a hat with a label on it, because that was your hat. Whether it's a Marine or an airman, a mom, whatever it is, who are you? And then what do you want? And then once you figure that out, okay, if this is what I want to do as an entrepreneur, then you have to live it and breathe it. And the research is there, from the library to the Small Business Administration is there, but you still have to figure out how to put those pieces together. And I think finding mentors, even not in your area, somebody recently said that to me. Screw it. If people within, an hour of you don't want to be a mentor, find somebody in a different state.
Absolutely.
And,
yes.
Reach out. And Facebook and Instagram has been becoming my best friend now with reaching out to people. So.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm a mentor for Veterati, and, I tell them all the time, especially if they're still active duty, who are you? I ask them that question. Who are you when you're not in uniform? You're not sergeant. You're not major. You're not whatever. Who are you? And it gets really quiet. And I said, that's what you need to do, is figure out who you are when you're not wearing the uniform anymore.
I have a comment on that, because I've been a first sergeant, I've been a platoon sergeant, and one thing that I have always harped on whenever I've had soldiers is that the military is what you do. This is what you do right now. You will eventually leave. You will eventually take off the uniform. What are you going to do after that? Have you given thought to any of that? Like, no. And I think that's one reason why a lot of people, when they do get to the retirement age or the separation period, that they're frozen and they just don't know what's next, because they haven't put in the time to give it any thought, or they haven't explored that other side of themselves, because all they know is the uniform, is the military, and they cling on to that persona.
Oh yeah, of who they are.
That's what they know.
It's
very comforting. It's very comforting to just roll over and go into a GS job that aligns to what it was that they did, because they're familiar with that. But when challenged with, hey, so what do you like to do, or what do you want to do, or what else do you want to do outside of this? It's like, oh, I haven't thought about that. And I was like, yeah, you probably should give it some thought. And it's not something that just comes quickly. Like, you need the time to, just think on it and explore and ask questions and talk to other people and see, what do you like? What do you engage in? Do you recommend this? Do you recommend that? And then figure out what works for you. And then, even then, try it out. It may not work. You may not like it, but at least you've given yourself the time and the space to just even explore it versus just getting out cold turkey.
And even if you find something you like, but it didn't work out, don't think of it as a failure. Think of it as failing forward, because that's one thing that you can say, you know what, I tried that. It's not my thing. I've tried so many things, y'all, so many things. I was like, yeah, it's not my cup of tea, And I also like to tell, people that regardless of when you're getting out, at least 18 months to 2 years, you want to start thinking about it. Just start thinking about it. Writing notes, what are those things that you want to do, or maybe have you thought of, getting out? I talk to people and they're like, oh, I want to do what I did in the military. And I said, does that light you up? And they look at me like, no, but I need a job. And I said, I get that. I totally understand that, but what would you do if money wasn't an issue, if time wasn't an issue? And then the whole conversation changes. So thank you guys for, commenting on that. And here's another question. Do you think, as women who have worn the uniform, that we have an advantage as entrepreneurs? Maybe in the skills that we learn, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't think I have an advantage.
I think that it gives us resources, which is great, because things like V-WISE, and I think that there's a lot of veteran opportunities for me, which is fantastic. But I think my biggest advantage is that I'm scrappy. And, once again, when I start having my self-doubt days or whatever, I remind myself I have done worse with less resources.
Yes.
So, to me, it's not, hey, this or that has given me an advantage. It's how it helped me become a human.
Ooh.
I think, Kat, you and I had a conversation about this over at V-WISE, in which I had always just envisioned, like, I just want to burn everything. Like, I don't want any affiliation with the military. I just want my ID card, retire, and just be done. However, you did say that, you do need some time and separation to kind of want to come back to it, because you do have that camaraderie and that sisterhood, that veteran status that really a fraction of the population has. So and as we're niching down or finding, this is what my market is, like, that is something that I will identify with. I am a veteran. And whether I like it or not, that is a label that I have. So why not play it up to my advantage, that I will be a veteran-owned, female-owned, minority-owned establishment. Whether that attracts a certain clientele or not, who knows? But it is mine, and I should use it, and I should flex it, because that is something that other women entrepreneurs do not have, that I do.
But a lot of people can't say veteran-owned. I always tell people that we became part of a club. We had membership into a club that we didn't realize we had membership into until we left the service. but well, I don't want to say we're special. That doesn't sound right. We're unique.
We can be special.
We can be special too.
But it's a unique club, right? And, when you first get out of the military, and this might happen to you, Nina, you go through this, you're like, oh, I'm out, and you're happy. And then you go through this kind of funk stage. And it's that, it's that separation anxiety, that kind of, you're mourning your service because you're going to miss it. You will. Okay. And I'm just telling you it's coming. And you can just text me and say, yeah, you were right. It's here. It's happening, Zanetta, did you want to chime in?
I'm so busy listening to y'all. I don't even know what we were talking about. I'm just like, ooh, this is good. Do we have a one-up on entrepreneurs? Yes, I think we do, because no matter what, even though I went in late, I went in at 26, 25, when most people are either getting out or re-upping at that time. And I'm, just going in. But being a young adult at that time, it taught me more leadership skills. And I did become more resourceful. And then taking that even into being a mother, when I had children, the discipline, not having to spank them with a belt, just get them with their arms out and put a broom in and make them hold it. It's like,
oh, that's mean. I'd rather have the spanking. I'm sorry.
I had to be resourceful in different ways in public. So
right.
But the leadership skills, being resourceful, the organizational skills, and making sure that everybody knows where they need to be. They're on time. Even with my dad, he's retired Army. If I was 20 minutes, before time, then great, I'm on time. But if I'm showing up 5 minutes beforehand, Dad is having a fit. So being on time, making sure that I'm put together. So as an entrepreneur, you represent what you're basically selling. So you walk out the house looking like Walmart mommy, nobody's going to respect your brand. So being in uniform, having your uniform together, get those Irish pennants out the way, put the creases in it, roll your sleeves right, don't be sloppy. All of those little things actually help you as an entrepreneur, because you are representing one entity, but now that you're out, you're representing yourself. And that I think that's a great foundation that we have.
And you don't think that carries over?
Don't have that.
Yeah, you don't think it carries over, but it does. We were told all the time that when you go off base in your uniform, you're representing the entire Air Force. Mm-hmm. That's a heavy load.
Attention to detail, because you notice everything, and if anything is out of place on uniform, your eyes just lasers in.
Right? Did you see people they just took their uniform out the dryer and didn't do squat with it? You look at their boots, you're like, we're so judgmental. Dr.
So true.
Dr. Rainya?
Well, when I read that, I kind of dug a little deeper into it, where I think I'm looking at the young women here, the young service women here, and I'm thinking old school, 1980s military, and I was really just thinking that we have something special, because this was the military wasn't new to women, but we were new to a lot of things when I was in the military. And so I struggled that we had to go through, you couldn't be on a ship. And then if you were the first ones on a ship, all the different things that were first for women, I think gave us a lot of perseverance, some grit, some tenacity. And I think that's why I felt like women service members are really fit for entrepreneurship, because there are struggles that we have to go through that men in the military don't have to go through. And so I just felt like, from my point of view, that's where I was looking. We overcoming some things. So of course we can get out here and put our good shoes on and check people's gig lines and go out there and get it done. So
that's something I haven't heard in a while.
But it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away.
I am checking people. I am like, wow. Her blazer.
Yeah.
that how she's representing us today?
Yeah, right. But
So
you're
it doesn't
right.
stop.
You know, you're a representative of your brand. And if you want people to pay attention, you have to be that brand representing it. So let's talk about resources. What types of resources have you guys used that maybe some women who are listening, and maybe even some men who might be listening, that you've used that maybe could help our listeners?
So one resource that I greatly appreciate, so I read a lot, or I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I would say that I listen to a lot of audiobooks on business, on leadership, on self-help, and just taking tidbits from each and every one of them and kind of like incorporating them into myself. And as you know, in any conference that you go to, a lot of good leaders read a lot, and you always have to be evolving. You always have to be learning. So it's like never stop learning, never stop evolving, never stop being curious about things around you. So if nothing else, I would say read. It's free.
Yes.
If you don't like reading, have someone read to you. Get some Audible.
Yeah. You know, you don't have to read it. You can listen to a book.
You can multitask and just pop it in and walk and go and just be read to. And I find that I have a few books that I have on repeat. And I find that I pick up things, you know, the second or the third time in that I missed, that I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I didn't think about that. Or I'll go in, I'll re-listen to a few chapters. But definitely read, and read some more. Because if all the secrets in the world are hidden in books. The library is hands down one of the greatest free resources that are available to everybody. All you need is a library card.
I love it. Yeah. Reading is, yeah. You learn a lot from reading. I love to read, you know, and I always say that, you know, when you stop learning, you stop growing. And as entrepreneurs, we always have to be learning so that we can grow our business. So anybody else? Nadean, Dr. Rainya, Zanetta?
I'll piggyback on that. I would say read, but I'll also say research, you know, like this wonderful thing called the internet that we didn't always have. If you want to know something, you can put it in Google and you can find 15 different sources, and then you can just scan them and see which one is going to meet your needs, which one won't. I would say definitely use those resources that are available for research. And I have really discovered the masterclass. Like people have a masterclass on everything. So while you scroll this social media, you can find a masterclass on every single thing. And for me, it doesn't bother me to spend a couple of dollars on it if it's an area that I'm interested in. But the free ones are wonderful. They always try to get you at the end. But like Nina said, I will listen to your masterclass. I will find out what books you read, and then I will go figure the rest out for myself. So the internet has really been a source that, you know, if you want to know about it, just put it in there, question format. If you don't know the term, but you're looking for something, and you can find a lot of different examples of what you're looking for. Absolutely.
Anybody else? Nadean, Zanetta, anything?
I will throw out YouTube. YouTube is one of the resources that I've tapped into. Yes. Just, you know, whether even if you put that in there as a question, you know, you're going to find somebody that did a video on something somehow. And I like it because I'm using a lot of needles and injections, and I like looking at different techniques.
Yes.
So I love putting a needle somewhere. Just ooh.
Sounds like a pig nurse.
I think that we just got scared of her.
I know. Don't make her mad, folks. Don't make her mad.
But I do. I love watching. You know, I love watching bloopers. I love watching the different things of what not to do and what could happen. So YouTube has been a great resource for me as far as that goes. And I found stuff on there from coaching to weight loss to injections to butt fillers, all of
everything.
Injections, like everything. So yeah.
Wow. University.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Let's talk about V-WISE for a second. Why did all of you decide that this was perfect for you at this time? Nadean.
Oh, I knew that if I sat there and thought about it long enough that you'd be like, I'm going to start with you.
I got your message, girl. I got your message.
Right? The funny thing is I didn't know that it was going to be perfect. I found IVMF via the Google. And so I was like, oh, this sounds like a really cool resource. And then I went to the Ignite thing and they were like, here's some programs to apply for. And I applied because I'm not going to turn down help because I don't know how to run a business. I've not done it before. So it was one of those things where I found out about it. I applied and then they said, oh, you're accepted. Start doing this. And I didn't know that it was going to be perfect in any kind of way. I went there with no expectations. And it was, I would say it met all my expectations. It was so much more than what I even thought it was going to be. The people, the fact that I spoke to somebody in a line, like getting our photos taken, and now I text her every day. And she is a resource and a friend and an accountability partner. Every speaker that I had there, whether it was a breakout session or a keynote speaker, was amazing and perfect and just what I needed to hear then.
Yes.
So it's not that I had any expectations or I picked it. I feel like almost it picked me.
Wow. Dr. Rainya, what about you?
I had the expectations, like, why did I pick V-WISE? When I saw it on the VA, somewhere in VA sent me an email and I was like, V-WISE, what is this thing? I'm going to check it out. And then when I saw that it was like women, it was like veteran women. And I was just like, oh, this sounds like I can network and I can meet people. And I'm going to tell y'all that I'm not real good at that. So when I got there, my coworkers, who none of them are pre-military, they were like, so you have to talk to this many people. Like, you can't leave there without connecting. So I have to go outside of my introverted space, my, team of one space, and just say, oh, so where are you from? Or, just breaking the ice with people. And so I just really, my expectation was I was going to get to see like a lot of other women who had the same mindset, but not realizing that then I was going to be in the band group and then I'm going to be connecting with people and I'm going to see them on Instagram. And so now I have really formed some networks. So it was just the expectation of, people with the same mindset. And like Nina said, veterans, right? We have that single thread, veterans or family members. And it was just like, when you talk to your coworkers in civilian life, they don't really connect with you on that level. And they don't understand what that experience was or why you need an SOP. Like, they don't understand certain things. So I was just like, yes, like-minded women, it's going to be great. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, my husband's a veteran. And when I told him I was going, he said, well, you're going to go to Nashville and meet all these other women? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, do you know any of them? I go, no. And he just thought he goes, I don't understand how you can do that. I said, sweetie, we're all veterans. What's the problem?
Right.
I don't get it. So, Nina or Zanetta?
Yes. So I had done the Boots to Business through the military, and I stumbled upon IVMF, and I had looked at this. It's been a couple of years that I've been aware of IVMF, but the dates just never quite aligned to where we were in the world. So when I PCS from Hawaii to Illinois, and I saw that it was in Nashville, I said, I have no excuse. Like, I literally have no excuse. It is a 3-hour drive down the way. I'm going to Nashville. So off to Nashville we went, told my husband about it, and he said, you're doing what? Because I am very much an introvert. I don't willingly go out into social spaces. So this was very much different for me, but it was hands down like an amazing experience. I just appreciated being in a room and in a space with that many women, veterans, because even being in the military, I don't think I've ever been in a space that had that many female women at one time. So I really enjoyed and appreciated that after, being usually like the one or the two females in a room at any given point. So I'm a little over that. I needed some estrogen in my life.
And you got it.
Yes.
Zanetta?
So I stumbled upon V-WISE. Actually, someone had mentioned to me something about veterans something. No, it was SCORE through the Small Business Administration. So I started there, and then it was something about veterans, reach out to Veterans Administration has a lot of great programs. And so I found it, signed up for it. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And it only cost me $50 for real. So I signed up for it before the pandemic. So we were supposed to meet, can't remember, I think it was Nashville at that time too, or Orlando, something like that. And then the pandemic happened that year, 2020. So timing is everything. As much as I'm kicking myself for all the mistakes that I've made, I needed to be in Nashville. At the time, I needed to be in Nashville. Mm-hmm. I would say I'm a social butterfly that is learning how to fly again. Because I became the recluse, literally a brown recluse. I sat on my couch, go to work, take care of the kids, sit on the couch. So me being pushed out of my comfort zone by me, that was a great thing because I went by myself, drove myself there, stayed by myself, but I forced myself to, talk to people like Dr. Rainya said, you have to talk to this many people per day. Engage. And it's like, well, how do I do that? Especially being a nurse practitioner, I'm used to people coming to me. I don't have to go talk to anybody. If they have a problem, they come to me.
Right.
So it's like putting myself out there. And it's just, even doing this podcast, when I saw on one of the little reminder things or the group thing that the other young lady put us all in, it was like, okay, I'm behind on that, but I saw this podcast and I was like, I want to be a part of that. Let me put myself out there. So V-WISE for me is constant connections. We all are doing so many different things. Nobody else is putting needles in faces on this panel right now, but there's still the connection there because we're all striving towards something, so this is dope. I'm just happy to be part of it.
Well, we're glad you're here. I think you mentioned something that I had a hard time with was putting myself out there. Now, my husband always says that I would talk to a wall if it would talk back to me because I can pretty much speak to anybody. But putting yourself out there in your business, when I was on social media, it was, I'd like stuff, I'd heart stuff, I'd share stuff, done. Now you have to put yourself out there. And that's been the hardest thing for me to do is learn social media, but also, to be consistent in putting your brand out there and who you are and what you're doing and all of that other stuff that's, Lord, just makes my head hurt thinking about it. Anyway, here's a question for y'all. In one word, describe your experience at V-WISE. Exciting. Yeah. Nina. Sisterhood. Dr. Rainya. Inspiring. Nadine.
You really think I can only have one word? Have you talked to me at all?
I was trying to narrow it down, Nadine. I was really trying.
I know. I use like 50 words to say one word. All this introvertedness you guys were talking about, that's not me. Honestly, business changing or life changing. If you hyphenate it, I still think it's one word. So for me, life changing or business changing.
Yeah. So here's our last question before we go. This was not on the sheet. Ooh, I know, right? Drama. What does being a boss in your business mean to you? Anybody can start. Confidence.
See, I had one word, finally.
Now, I'm not used to that, Nadine. You spoiled me now. So, I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the other words to come out. Anyone else?
Me, especially being...
Oh, go ahead, babe.
For me, I am a female in the construction industry, and there are not very many of us. And so for me, when I think about what I need to be a boss, I need that confidence. I need that assurity that I know what I'm talking about. But even when I have those days where I doubt myself, I have this great network now to remind me of what I have, and to give me that confidence when I'm lacking it myself.
Yeah. Who else wants to go? Come on, everybody's got to contribute.
I'm with that confidence. That confidence, I know for over the last few months, second guessing myself. What the hell am I doing? What was I thinking? I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. Oh my God, somebody help me. I can't turn back now. I have to figure it out. What is going on? But all of that came from the lack of confidence within myself and my skill set, that I know how to do this. And if I don't know how to do it, I'll figure it out. I've done that before. So the confidence is everything. When I wake up in the morning, it's okay, what's on the agenda today? Oh, well, who's coming in today? And when I first started getting clients and they were booking me, I would panic, like, oh my God, do I know what I'm doing? Like, are they going to ask a question? Do I have all my protocols in place? What is happening? And it's reminding myself that I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
That's
if
half the battle right there. I don't display that
confidence, they're not going to be confident in me. So
yeah, showing up in your business. That's what it is. It's showing up. You might not have all the answers, but you're showing up. Dr. Rainya.
I was going to go into the long financial independence thing. With financial independence, you don't have to ask people questions. You just kind of do what you want and give back as you deem necessary, and don't worry about the bills. But I think that the confidence is a good one. I'm going to land on that one too, because like I said, prior to V-WISE, I had different ideas. And then when it really just came back to me as you're doing education, stick to, this is where your heart is, stick to where you are, because even though the coaching is part of what you do, just fold it under. Like, it doesn't have to be your main performance, because education is what you do. So
absolutely,
the confidence to just make those decisions now, right? That's what I'm doing now. I'm real confident. I'm like, yeah, this.
All right, Nina, we got 3 for 3. Is it going to be 4 for 4?
I was going to say freedom.
And
setting a positive example for my kids who are 6 and 8 right now. So they kind of participate in some of the things that I do, but I want to be able to be an example to them that you can pursue something that you love. You can monetize something that you enjoy. You don't have to work for somebody else. You can be exposed. You have to use teamwork. You have to use ingenuity. You have to be innovative. You have to talk to people to have customer service skills. So I want them to learn these soft skills through doing this. We have yard sales. They have to talk to people. They have to exchange. So they're learning how to manage money. They're learning how to bargain, how to negotiate. So I want them to have that as they grow, so that if and when they decide, hey, if you want to go and work for somebody, that's fine. But if you want to go and do something for yourself and make your own time, make your own flexibility, hire whoever you want to, then this is another opportunity or another path that's available to you. So for me, being able to show that in action has been one of the biggest pluses to pursuing entrepreneurship and doing that alongside with them.
That's huge. Showing that to your kids, knowing that they just don't have to do a 9 to 5. They can if they want to, but they can also do this because mom is an entrepreneur. And even if they decide to be an entrepreneur, they've got you to help them along the way. So I think that's very cool. Ladies, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. But before we go, I want you to, again, tell people where you are, what your business is, and how they can contact you if need be. So, Nina, go first.
All right. So my name, again, is Nina Clark. I am stationed at Scott Air Force Base, Illinois. My business venture is Pretty Little Thrifty, and you can find me or contact me via my email. My name is Nina@ninamclark.com.
Thank you, Nina. Zanetta.
Hey, Zanetta Bryant. I am in Fayetteville, Georgia. I have the MediSpa here above me, redefined by Z. And I will be looking forward to even doing consultations via telehealth. That's fine too. You can reach me at redefinedbyz.com. Our office number is 770-629-7989.
Thank you, Zanetta. Dr. Rainya.
All right, I'm Dr. Rainya Miller. My business is the Consortium of Accomplished Educators. You can find us at www.accomplishededucators.com, or our number is 240-685-6870.
Thank you, Dr. Rainya. And of course, Nadean, take as long as you want, honey. Use as many words as you want to.
My name is Nadean Carson. I am owner and founder of Oya Construction, and we're located in Roanoke. We work in Virginia and North Carolina. We can be found on LinkedIn, and we also have a website, www.oyaconstruction, that's OYA, and construction all spelled out, .com. And my email is Nadean@oyaconstruction.com. And the hard part of that is my name, and it's spelled Nadean @oyaconstruction.com.
Thank you, ladies, for being here today. I know this was just something I thought about when I left V-WISE, and I thought, oh, maybe they're not interested. And I was like, screw it, I'm just going to ask them.
That's because you're a boss.
Just roll with it.
I'm showing up, right? I'm showing up.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to thank you all. If anyone wants to get in contact with me, you can just email me at sistersinsvc@gmail.com. And for anyone listening, if you want any information about V-WISE, I had the ticker of the email going across, but if you need that, I can always give you that information also. So thank you, ladies. And thank you for everyone that's been watching.
Thanks, Kat.
Thank you so much, Kat.
Okay. Thank you.